Hi everyone, welcome to Managebac and welcome back to a new EE term. I know this is a little bit of an unusual way to start, but we'll make the most of it. So hopefully you're looking at your screen right now, and what you will see is the login space for Managebac. Now, Managebac is the system that we will be using to monitor, collect, upload your extended essay work, as well as your TOK work for this year. Now, you'll get some specific introduction to the TOK stuff later, so today I'm just going to focus on the EE. Now, this first video is probably going to be a little bit long and rambly, but you'll find after that there are some links to short, quick videos for how to do things, for just if you want to remember how to do a specific task, okay? So I'm not expecting you to go away from this one video and be like, yes, I know everything about Managebac, although it is quite simple. So looking at your login screen, the key things about this screen to note are that it should say UWC of Southeast Asia Dover campus. And then it's got two options for you to log in. So there's a space for you to type your login details. And then if you go all the way below that, there's a space where it says sign in with Google. You need to sign in with Google. Even if you type your Google email and password into the typed space, it will not let you log in. So what you're going to do, you're just going to click that sign in with Google, and it's going to bring up your Google logins, however many of those you use. You're about to discover I have quite a lot, including a whole bunch of test student accounts, which is what we're going to look at today. So I'm going to log in as test student 10. And this student has got a pre-set up system, so you'll be able to see some of the things happening that you might see on your screen later. So the first screen that you're going to find is the dashboard. Now the dashboard will show your kind of upcoming immediate deadlines, usually within about a month. And you can see here that you do have an EE deadline already in the system. All of your due dates are in there. So if you're planning ahead, this is the place to look at. You'll also see any activity on the whole class, so messages posted to the group and things like that. In fact, all of the messages or key information I will also post to your grade page on Teamy. But it's worth keeping an eye on here in case I share extra resources and things that might not be on Teamy. So for you, some key things you need to be able to find on this screen. The first is your profile. So it's up here, and you can see if you click on that profile, it's just going to load your details. Now, it's probably worth checking them, just making sure your name is spelled correctly, because this is data that's come out of the school system, so it's also data that will be used by the exam office. It's worth just kind of checking that that's all correct. The other thing on this top bar that's kind of going to be important for you is this little message box. The message box or notification space is where you'll find notices from your supervisor. It's a space where you can also kind of check and send things out. But just basically any updates, group notifications and alerts will appear there. You'll also get them on Teamy, and a lot of the stuff will also forward to your email as well. But just keep an eye on that box, make sure there are no messages in it. And the third thing up here that's important is the help and support. So if you're ever really stuck, there's a whole bunch of help tutorials and a quick start guide that you can use to help find your way around. It is pretty self-explanatory. So with that in mind, I'm just going to head back over to the dashboard. Now, your dashboard is good for useful information, but you don't really have to do anything on your dashboard. Where you're going to do things is within your extended essay space and your TOK space. So you're going to come over to IB Coordinator, and you're going to click Extended Essay. Now, when you do that, what you'll find is a worksheet page. This worksheet page is where all of your key EE info will appear. So you can see here that there's a giant to-dos column. This is the deadlines. So these are the things you have to do, and then under them, the tasks that you need to complete to help you do them. Now, some of your tasks will be for you, and some of them will be for your supervisor, okay? So if we look here, meet with your supervisor to review your original question. That's probably something you're going to do. So let's say you've had that conversation, you tick it off. But approving student proposal, that's not something designed for you to be able to do, okay? It's there so that you know it's happened, and you'll see when you try and click it, you get a little gray circle that says no can do, all right? So there'll be a few things on here that are not for you to do, but you just need to know that they're going to happen, all right? Aside from the to-do list, you'll also find any documents that you upload into the system down here, as well as a notes and interviews section. This is where you should be recording any details, follow-up, extra tasks that you have from your meetings with your supervisors, okay? It's a great record for just being able to go back and make sure, what did we talk about the last time we spoke? Oh yeah, okay? So you can leave notes here, your supervisor can leave notes here. They can be forwarded via email, okay? And if you leave a note, they'll be forwarded to your supervisor, okay? So they'll get everything that you leave there. The most important part on this page, though, is this bit at the top, this tiny, kind of insignificant looking bit that is in fact your EE question, okay? Up here are the details for your EE. What is your question? What subject are you doing? What category, if that's relevant? This is the part that comes from your proposal, okay? We're going to look at your proposal shortly, but just be aware that that is there, okay? The next 2 pages are about your research and your reflections. So let's just have a quick look at the research as reflection space. This space is designed to be somewhere that you can dump resources, links, useful articles, images, videos that were helpful, might be things you want your supervisor to check, okay? You can leave journal notes. So if you think, oh, I found this really hard and I might want to reflect on it later for my actual EE reflections, that can go in there. So it's a really useful space for keeping everything together. The other important thing about this space, though, is this is the space the IB is going to go to if they randomly select you for an authentication check, okay? So the IB can at any point after submission ask for the student's research and reflection space. And that's so that they can see that there's a correlation between the work the student has undertaken and the essay that they've created, okay? So it's really important that you keep this space and that you keep it kind of complete. So you might want to link in your draft, any note documents that you're using, okay? All of that, just put it in here. The third and most important in some ways worksheet is the RPPF, okay, the Reflections on Planning and Progress. Now, up until this year, this has been done outside of any system and then submitted as a PDF at the end. Now we don't have to do that. We're now going to do that live. So what you'll see is that there is a space for reflections. Now this student, my test student, has already done their first reflection, okay? And you can see here that you can't click into it anymore. That's because it will lock after you have submitted it. You will write 3 reflections throughout your EE process, and after each reflection, they'll get dated and your supervisor will sign off on them. Now, in total, these reflections shouldn't be more than 500 words, so it will word limit you, okay? And it will tell you how many you've got left. I'm not going to go into any more details about the reflections now, but there will be resources later this week to help guide you through the first reflection process. I just wanted to highlight that this is a space you definitely need to come back to in the future. Now, we're going to head back onto the worksheet because the worksheet is where I want you to be today. There is one thing you need to do for me this week, and that is you need to sort out putting your proposal, the question you've had sort of approved or the subject you've had approved, into the Managebac system, okay? And the way you're going to do that is you're going to come up to the right-hand side and you're going to click Edit Extended Essay Proposal, okay? Now, if you haven't put anything in, it might just say EE Proposal. And you're going to come down and you've got some options. You've got subjects. So you're going to find your subject, whatever that is. Okay, let's say it's World Studies, Conflict, Peace and Security. You're going to type in a topic. Now, you may not have a topic. You may not have picked kind of a general idea, but if you think you've got one, put it in. What you should have is a research question. Now, a few of you at this point are probably thinking, but my research question is changing and it's really broad. That's fine, okay? What I want you to put in for now is just the question you've got right now. Okay, as it stands, it can change. This can change. If you want to add any notes, so I think the question's too broad, or I've looked at this, this, and this, what do you think? You can do that. Any extra details about it, you're welcome to add in there. And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to click Supervisor, and you're going to find your supervisor's name. You're going to click on them, and they will be assigned to you, and then you're going to click Save Changes. Now, when you do that, your proposal will update, and you'll see here we've now got a change in the subject because I changed what I was looking at. And you've also got an email link that says request EE approval. Now, I'm not going to click that right this second because I don't really want to send out requests to teachers unnecessarily, but you're going to. Once you've done this extended essay proposal information, you're going to click request EE approval. And that's going to go off to the person that you've been assigned as a supervisor. And they are then going to have an option to click a little approval button, which will appear here. You'll be able to see when it's approved. Now, once you've done those things, you are able to click off these things, okay? Make sure you click them off. It's a rewarding sense of completion, okay? You don't have to click them off for it to say you're done, but if you don't, I will come looking. So make sure that you've just said, I'm all complete, all good. Now, the only other thing to keep on here and I over here is that you've also got your supervisor info. So if you ever need to contact them, it just reminds you what their contact details are. And you've also got an overall progress point, okay? Now, this won't be used all the time, and hopefully for all of you, it will never say concern. But it's just a guide, and sometimes your supervisor will fill it in. Keep an eye on it. You know, if you think, actually, maybe I'm a bit behind, just have a look, see what your supervisor thinks, okay? It just is there to help you, remind you need to be making progress. So I'm going to stop there because there's a lot going on your screen, and obviously you won't remember it all. But like I said, the first thing you need to do this week is that extended essay proposal.